Hello, Live Run Balance family. I'm your boy, I'm your brother, I'm your favorite uncle, Kenneth Pinkney. And today, my guest co host for the second time, Miss Priscilla Rojas.
Rojas.
Rojas. I'm going to get a name right. I'm going to sprite her. Rojas, Miss Priscilla Rojas.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. And today, we are joined by someone who truly embodied the spirit of live, run, boundless. This person approaches the sport of trail and ultra running from every possible angle. Corrinne Malcolm, hope I got her name right. We just talked about it before we hit the record button. So she's a coach, she's an athlete, she's a physiologist. I know I pronounced that wrong too. Podcaster and science writer with a background in exercise physiology, specializing in human performance and environment factors. I know a lot of that stuff is, but it's kind of deep. So Corrinne has also merged her love for science with her passion with helping athletes chase big, scary goals. Oh, I can't really dive into that. Also, she got it endurance running to the breakthroughs while also tackle her own momentum challenge on the trails. She also continued to shape the conversation around the sport through her writing, commentary, and podcasting. So, Live On Balance family, welcome Corrinne to the Live On Balance show.
Hello, I'm so excited. This is gonna be great. Yeah, I wear a lot of hats, so I've got a lot of things that I do on the daily.
Yes, I see that. I noticed that. I've noticed for the past couple of years. So after I started to follow the ultra trail running, like man, since like man, in the like 2015, 2016, and I watch like documentary and just ultra trail running, podcasts and YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's great to have you on. So we're gonna dive right quick. Um, you talk about, please share how you describe yourself these days. Maybe you could go past and how you change as an athlete, a coach, a scientist, an editor, and a podcaster. That's a lot. So how do you describe yourself? Well, and all the D's I just mentioned.
I'm like, what hat do I wear the most? I joke that according to the IRS, I'm a coach. My taxes would say I'm a coach, and that's what I do like primarily as my main job is I coach trail and ultra athletes. But I also I now work in the sports marketing department at Hoka. I work as a consultant on the global sports marketing team, which is super fun. I get to work on really amazing projects and get to surround myself with people who are trying to change the sport to be a more inclusive and welcoming space for more runners, as trail running is growing far rapidly right now in comparison to road running, right? So we got a lot of new trail runners coming in. And so my job is to try to help those new trail runners feel like they've belonged here the entire time. That it's like they're walking into family. That's my goal. So those are the big hats that I wear. I also run myself as an ultra athlete, mostly for my own sanity. And I've been a lifelong athlete. I was a runner and a soccer player and skier growing up. And skied cross country in college, and then realized that running around in the mountains with snacks was kind of my jam. And that's trail and ultra running. It's just going for a run with snacks and all your friends.
That's the secret, right? Like when you start trail running, all of a sudden you're like, wait, we can eat, we can sit up here at this viewpoint, and then we can
It's the secret. You can walk. I love walking. I love hiking. And then it's like, oh, and I can bring pizza with me. Like, that's pretty cool.
Bring pizza. So you actually have bring pizza with you?
Yeah. I brought pizza. I brought pecan pie. I brought cake. I brought you can bring anything.
Pecan pie. Pecan pie. I know I'm going off the script right now. But the holidays and pecan pie is my go-to pie for the Christmas holidays. I remember the first time I had pecan pie. I was a little bitty kid. My dad brought like a box of pecan pie home for like a banquet. In the army. And the first time I had that piece of pecan pie, it was a wrap. Game over with. Bam.
Yeah, I don't like nuts. Like I'm not like a pecan, walnut, peanut person, but pecan in pie. Oh, I freaking love it. You know, maybe it's because it's got all the sugar with it, but like I really like pecan pie.
Oh yeah, pecan pie and fruitcake.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go.
I think my favorite trail snack that I realize I really enjoy is tamales.
On the list, we have our neighborhood here in Seattle. They're like we can get pupusas and tamales like right up outside the grocery store, rain or shine, any day of the week. It's like you can buy them out of a trunk or out of a cooler or outside, and it's just like we've got ample access to these things, and so I need to add it to my long run plan.
Now that it's holiday season, that's when we make like 100 dozens in my family, and like we even freeze them and bring them out later. But favorite season for tamales.
Definitely. So we've got different cultures, like Brazil, you got the tamales, and Corrine, I know you grew up at, where you grew up at, Corrine, where you grew up at?
I grew up in the Midwest mostly. My parents were in the Air Force, so we moved around a lot. I lived in Japan for a long time, and then we moved back to the U.S. We lived in Vermont. We lived in, but mostly Wisconsin. I grew up on like lots of cheese and cheese curds and all that kind of good stuff up in northwestern Wisconsin by Lake Superior. So up in the northern quarter of the state, lots of skiing. But yeah, grew up in the land of corn and cheese and ice fishing. Like that was my childhood.
Cool. So the real cheese, I grew up in this. I grew up in a rural area, South Carolina, and growing up, we had like the fake imitation cheese, So, but it was still pretty good,
Yeah, no, we got that real stuff. And then my dad is a family medicine doctor and works in the community hospital, and so patients bring him all sorts of stuff. They bring him wild rice. They bring him part of a cow. They went moose hunting. They go fishing. So it's like we had all sorts of stuff in our house growing up that was oftentimes from patients coming into the clinic to see him regularly. And so
I like that.
Yeah, rural medicine in the U.S. is special. So lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of some like TV shows, like so kind of like Christmas TV shows, like the Midwest. It's local doctor. Know everybody community.
Yeah, Hayward's famous for a bar called the Moccasin, and it is full of very interesting taxidermy. And that is the town that I grew up in, is a town of like taxidermied animals playing card games at the lime green painted Moccasin bar downtown. So it's a special place.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So definitely that was cool. So I know kind of when I grew up, that's okay. So let me go back to the script a little bit.
Which is perfect segue, because we want to, I'm familiar with you with more of your like podcasts and your broadcasting. Like that's how I became familiar with you. So I was really curious to like know more about you. Like I know you're an athlete. So what sports did you play growing up? And also how did you transition into trail running?
Yeah, I did. I was a very active kid. I'm the oldest of three. I've got two younger brothers who were my rivals, obviously, very competitive. So as soon as they were big enough to compete, we were competing, be it on, biking home faster or whatever. But we played everything. Like my parents were very big on us, trying everything out and seeing what stuck. Also in a very small town, there was a lot of, not pressure, but a lot of encouragement to be like a year-round athlete, because I think it kept us out of trouble. So, like they can't do bad things if they're involved in sports every season. So we played softball and baseball. I played soccer. I picked up cross-country skiing in high school, and that became one of my primary sports. I ran cross-country and track. We also, because Hayward is super weird, where I grew up, it's the land of the Lumberjack World Championships. So in the summer, we would log roll and boom run. And so I grew up log rolling, which is probably where my like balance and spatial awareness comes from. I was a figure skater as well. Like they didn't have girls hockey when I was growing up, like in middle school and high school. And so I was a figure skater from kindergarten through 8th grade. Spent a lot of time on a very cold ice rink in the winter before thankfully finding skiing. In high school, like my sophomore year, skiing became my primary sport. I was like, I'm going to the Olympics. This is my thing. I hated it my freshman year, fell in love with it my sophomore year, went abroad my junior year. lived in Eastern Europe for a year and was like really stressed about like how important skiing was to me. Was able to train over there, got introduced to the sport of biathlon over there, which is skiing and shooting. While I was not like, yes, this is what I'm doing. I had seen it. I like understood what was going on. That would come back around into my life just a couple of years later, but actually went to Montana State to be on the cross country ski team. And after my sophomore year, I dropped out of school because I was just frustrated. I was like, I was finding it very hard to be a good athlete and a good student. And what I really wanted to do was athletics. I really wanted to put my heart and soul into skiing. In the NCAA for cross-country skiing, only 3 men and 3 women can go to the NCAA championship from each team. And we would routinely qualify 4 or 5 women. And our coach was very much into seniority. So as a freshman and sophomore, even if you qualified for the NCAA championship, you weren't going to get to go. And I was very frustrated by that because I was like, you do the thing, you qualify for the championships, you go to the championships, like there's a natural progression. I offered to run for MSU because I was running cross country for them a little bit. And so I went to that coach and I was like, hey, like I'll run year round if I can have a scholarship. And they didn't have money at that point in time. And so I looked at transferring, I looked at going abroad, I looked at leaving. And that spring raced really well at junior nationals. Didn't go to NCAA, so I went to the junior national championship instead because I was still young enough and got recruited to the US junior biathlon program. And so instead of transferring or going abroad or running full time for MSU, I dropped out of college, like fully dropped out. I drove home. I met up with my mom, and then she helped me drive from there out to northern Maine. I lived in Fort Kent, Maine, in the upstairs of a ski lodge with 4 other women. And was like, I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I'm good at this. I can go to Junior Worlds and European Championships this next year. We'll see if I'm any good. And I made the US junior national team, made European championships, podiumed at European championships, and made the senior national US biathlon team in like a 10-month period. And so I did not go back to school that next year. I was like, I'm moving to the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid, New York, and I am now on the US national biathlon team. In over my head, like all my teammates are much older than me, have been doing it for a lot longer, and just kind of tried to keep up effectively for the next 2-3 years and got horribly burnt out and overtrained. This was it was in rough shape. So I ended up moving back to Bozeman, lost my funding for the national team because I wasn't willing to like hang out by myself in northern Maine or Lake Placid. I like did it for my own mental well-being, which I'm very proud of myself for like leaving for my mental well-being. But while my teammates walked into the Sochi Olympics, I re-enrolled in 23 credits at Montana State, because if I wasn't going to be walking into the Olympics that year, I was going to be fully invested in getting my degree done. And so I did, like I retired, basically my first retirement from a sport that I loved immensely. All of a sudden as a 24-year-old, basically 23-year-old, went back to school, finished my degree. And during that time found trail running, because again, cross-country skiing is basically just long runs in the mountains with snacks. Again, bringing it back to pecan pie. Like I was like, oh, we trail run every weekend. Like we sky run every weekend. The Rut, the like incredible race. The Rut is just down the road. That was my first trail race. Was the Rut.
The hardest race.
Exactly. Doing the VK and the 26K. That was my first introduction to trail racing. And that it kind of progressed from there in 2016, 10 years ago almost, which is crazy. I ran my first ultra at Chuckanut 50K. I'm going to go back to Chuckanut 50K this spring, 10 years later. But yeah, it was this like kind of blessing in disguise. I, had gone all in on a sport, kind of had it blow up, went back to where I knew I was happy in Bozeman, Montana, where all my friends were, because they were, just finishing up college, moved in with my friends. Moved in with my now husband, actually. It was like not even dating at the time, just like moved into his house. Now we're married. We've been married for 4 years and found a whole new sport. And I've been doing this new sport for the past decade.
I know. Wow.
All because I like snacks. All because
snacks.
And being in a circle with a rifle just didn't work out. Like it's serendipity.
it's all about snacks. We run a lot and we eat a lot.
But it also seems that you like chose to be happy and were concerned about your mental health. Like you were, you cared about yourself and how you were feeling.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we choose that, we always go into the right path where we're supposed to be.
I'm good at knowing when to quit, I think. Like I'm good at knowing when to walk away, which is maybe not the best skill set for ultra running because sometimes you need to know not to quit and you have to keep going. But I generally know. I know when it's okay to say, you know what, this isn't serving me anymore. And I did that with biathlon and I did that with school before that. And it's important to like prioritize your mental health in those moments.
How awesome. I didn't know that. So the Rut was your first trail race. So that was my first mountain trail race too. Like I did the 11K and I was like, what did I do? Oh my God, I can't breathe. I want to do it again.
Yeah, totally. I did the VK and Anna Frost, who was like my hero, that was Frosty. Like I still love Frosty, but I, was this like little kid basically. And I was like, Anna Frost, my hero. And we were racing the VK and she asked if I wanted to pass her. And I was like, no, I couldn't, I can't. And like should have, because I ended up just like kind of like toddling behind her up like Bone Crusher Ridge. But I was just like, I can't pass Anna Frost. Like she's Anna Frost. So like, and now we're like friends. And so it feels like I've come full circle on that as well.
I know you have come full circle with this running, for commentary and do just everything, So how did all of this being a commentary come about? That was part of a goal or a dream of yours to commentary also like for Western States or other big name races in the trail running world?
It's kind of a funny story in the sense that one, it's serendipity of things just happening at the right times and being in the right place.
Yeah.
Part of it is a joke in which my husband, I think I said this publicly, is that he was like, you need to find other people to talk to about running. Because like he's now a runner, but he's not historically been a runner. He signed up for his first trail race in 2026.
Wow.
But he was like, you got to talk to someone else about running because I don't care. Like, this is not my sport. I don't know these people. Because I was like, oh my goodness, this thing happened. So I started podcasting because of that. Like, Stephen was like, go find other people to talk to about running. Started a podcast. So now I talk to other people about running. And then the commentary piece was also an accident. I ran TDS in 2018 over as part of UTMB, like Mont Blanc week, and did well, finished 4th, and was living in Bellingham, Washington at the time, about 2 hours from where I'm sitting right now. And one of the commentators, Randall Gaylord, Topher Gaylord's brother, saw Bellingham, Washington on the result. And he's from Bainbridge Island or Orcas Island. He lives on one of the islands just off the coast of the Sound here outside of Seattle. And he's like, no way, Bellingham, Washington? Who is this girl? We should bring her into the studio for an interview. So he called Chrissy Mole, who knew me from Bellingham, who texted me to be like, is it okay if I give this guy your phone number? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. So I got to go in for an interview, but it was during OCC. And it was during the women's like kind of final hour of the women's race of OCC. And so I was like, we can talk about my race, but we should talk about these women running. And so I just stayed for like an hour instead of 20 minutes and talked about the women's race. And then they invited me back. And then I want to say the next year I came back again for the end of OCC. And then 2020 happened and no one was racing. I got hurt, really badly hurt actually. I had a stress fracture in my pelvis. And the Western States live stream started in 2021. And so I knew Dylan Bowman from podcasting and from doing some of the UTMB commentary because he was helping with that stuff. And they said, okay, we need a male and a female commentator for Western States. I technically had a spot in for the 2020 race, but I withdrew because I had done it 2 years in a row and I was good. I didn't want to do it a third time, needed to take a break. So I wasn't in the 2021 race, which is fine because I was gravely injured, so I couldn't run anyway. I said, we need a male and female commentator for Western States. And Dylan and Billy Yang said, well, maybe Corrinne will do it. And
Okay.
so Dylan and I started doing the Western States broadcast, which turned
Yeah.
into us also doing the UTMB
Yeah.
broadcast
Yeah.
together, and turned into us doing Broken Arrow commentary together. And so now Dylan and I have accidentally become the two commentators for so many races, which is so much fun.
Yes.
But it was like kind of accident of TDS and getting called into OCC. And then, you know, being injured and not being in the 2021 Western States. So got to do the commentary for the inaugural year, and I've gone back every year since.
Yeah.
And then, as your guests will now know, I really like talking, and it's probably one of my skill sets. And so it was a natural fit. Like it was my natural skill.
Yeah.
Really loving to talk, and a sport I love. Like, I don't think I'm autistic, but if I had a special interest, it would be trail and ultra running.
Okay.
I.e., I don't know why I can remember who ran what time at the 2023 Black Canyon.
Wow.
But I can, and it's stupid.
Wow.
But it's kind of like a dumb human trick. And so that is very helpful for commentary.
But it's my favorite thing about listening to you. You're so engaging. You're so knowledgeable. You pull out the facts like this. Even my partner, like, he's like, oh, she's on. Like, I can listen now because you make it so engaging.
We joke that Dylan is ESPN and I am NPR. And together we are the perfect marriage of commentators, because he brings the stoke and the hype, and I'll be like, here are the facts.
Yes. I love that about you guys. That partnership in that is my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely created something special in the ultra trail running community with the broadcasts and talk about the race and the runners, you know. It's just making it one just like look forward to the next episode, what I got to say, you know. So it's a beautiful thing. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
You guys were at Western States this weekend, right? Broadcasting live.
Yeah, we were at the lottery. I was in California for like 28 hours because I didn't get to Auburn until 1:30 a.m. on Saturday. And then I flew home at 7 a.m. on Sunday. So it was a very, my Oura ring registered 0 sleep Friday night because I got to bed at 2 a.m. and had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to the studio, like go to the auditorium to set up. So the things we do for the love of the sport.
I know, crazy stuff.
How was the energy there? I watched the broadcast very briefly, but how does it feel to like be in that really special moment for a lot of athletes?
It was, I mean, it's cool, right? Because it is special. The people that get in, it is such a, they have, you know, many of them have been working towards this for almost a decade. Sometimes over a decade, because a lot of these people started trying to get in before like the bye year. Now, if you're injured or you don't have a qualifier, you just don't put in for that year, but you don't lose all your tickets. There was a long time where if you missed a lottery, you lost your tickets and you started at 0 again. That changed maybe 6 or 7 years ago. So now it's a little bit, most people haven't had to do that at this point. But there were over 400 people there, I want to say, on Saturday. 18 people were present that were drawn in the lottery, and every single one of them jumps up and yells and runs down onto stage and gets to hug everyone. And Hoka puts together a little like kind of race bag for them with other race sponsors. So there's some goodies in there for them. And then we draw 3 special names every year as well, in which like you're there and you have a qualifier and you're in the lottery. You get a card, like a literal card from a deck of cards. And your name is written on it, and it's put like the duplicate is put into the spinning wheel, and they draw 3 people. So we drew 21 people total that were present. And it's crazy that it's like there is this bonus of being there, which I know is very special. But that means it also generally draws people that are locally based too. So they're drawing from Auburn, San Francisco, Sacramento, the Bay Area. I think one of the gals I think works maybe for the Healdsburg running company store or is involved in their community, so that's like really special. So it's cool. It's a very energetic weekend, but it's hard too as a coach because I had, you know, probably 20 athletes with qualifiers in the lottery, and one of them got in. And that, like, some years no one gets in from none of my athletes got into Hard Rock. One athlete got into Western States, and that is heartbreaking, right?
Yeah,
More people
yeah.
go home devastated,
Yeah.
or are home devastated during a Western States Hard Rock Lottery weekend than the number of people that get to start the race. And so you're not alone by any means, but it is luck of the draw, and that's very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine, because like that people dream to one day, one rest be to run Western State. They train hard, they focus in the hopes of again. It definitely a crushing blow. To them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. And on the other side, there's amazing stories that will be coming out from a lot of the sponsors. Are very not necessarily to say selective, but they get spots into the race every year, and they put out applications, or they source community members. And so, Hoka will have 5 spots in the race, and they're all going to community members.
Nice.
GU has 2 spots or 3 spots in the race. They're going to amazing community members. Active Joe, which is based out of Texas, they have an athlete in the race. And so it's really cool.
Yeah.
And that does help it helps get more women in the race. It helps intentionally, for the most part, also get more BIPOC or Indigenous runners into the race.
Absolutely.
And that's a big deal. And so those spots are special in the sense that the brands don't, I'm so glad the brands do that. They don't have to do that. I would love the spots to be protected in perpetuity outside of the brands having to agree to it, because management changes, title sponsors change, right? And they get to do whatever they want. The new sponsor gets to do whatever they want in that regard. And so they're setting an interesting example of using their spaces that way. And it's who's to say when those relationships change, if that will continue. And I would love to see those spots, saying yes, we will always make sure that we hold a spot for an Indigenous runner. That would be really special.
Absolutely.
And then it wouldn't be reliant on the changing whims of race sponsors. It would to have the board say, we have this space.
Yes.
We're still looking for that to happen.
Okay.
And it hasn't happened yet, but we're working towards that kind of stuff. And that will make the race, I think, even more, not to say important, but I think aligned with the community values.
Definitely. It's so much into it. I love the sport, I like to trail running. I don't have run too much ultras in my journey in trail running over the years, but it's a joy to be around it. It just inspired me. I've been at Western State 1 year as a fan a couple of years ago. And the hype was so real, and just the whole weekend, it was like, wow, I'm here at last, And so, for more people like Priscilla and I to get to experience that, it's a beautiful thing, So yeah.
Yeah, it's a special being there, right? And one of the things that was brought up over and over again at the lottery was like, hey, many of you are not going to get into the race, but come out, volunteer, experience it, just spectate. But getting to volunteer at any of those aid stations, at the finish line, any of those moments is really, really special. The media team, I could vouch for. We need camera runners every year. We need volunteers, and so it's, even if you're not running it, it is kind of this really. There are ways to be involved and experience race weekend. Rally around your one friend or the one person in your community that did get in. And support them on their journey. That is also very, very special.
Absolutely. I will volunteer anytime, Give me a scooter that I could have my video after a runner, I can joke with the scooter, but so can I use the scooter so.
One little section of road.
One little section. But I tell that story. Well, I've been there. I did in Western State. That was what they call the net to the track with that area. I was net to the track in high school, and I would talk to the neighbors, and then I was waiting for the run to come to the top runners. And then they say, "Oh, Courtney coming." I got my phone. Me and the neighbors, I was just chilling, talking to them. I got my phone ready. Now I put my video out. She coming down. And I was running after her. Like Courtney, and I was screaming, running. She got to the track, and that was one of my biggest moments. I was just waiting, talking to the neighbors. and the tablet, take a seat, sit
Feeling it,
down.
right? You're feeling it. You're like feeling the energy build as you're waiting for these athletes. It's really special.
It's nothing like it, and I come for a dude that need to play pick up game basketball all the time and drop my basketball shoes and go all in with trail running.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my story a little bit, but yeah, it's about you.
Yeah, spectating was really great. I was there this year, and the energy was inspiring, motivated. It makes you think that you can do something crazy and hard like that. Which I'm talking about. You make people reach big, scary goals. You mentioned you
Yes.
have an athlete
Yes.
that's doing Western State. Let's talk about
Yeah.
coaching. That's so
Yes.
awesome that you help people reach their big, scary goals. So
Absolutely.
let's chat a little bit about that.
Yes.
I joke that people pay me to be their boss, which is like kind of ironic, where I'm like, well, you're paying me, so I'm like your employee, but I'm also your boss because I'm the one telling you what to do. So it is kind of an interesting relationship in that way. But
Yeah.
it's so fun. I've been coaching since I started coaching in grad school because I was like really broke and I was trying to live in Vancouver, BC, which is in a super expensive city
Oh, wow.
to live in. And so I was like, how am I going to afford? I didn't start coaching because I was a pro athlete and it was like a nice way to pay the bills. It was like, no, I was a broke grad student studying environmental physiology. So studying heat and altitude and how it affects people trying to run and hike and perform. And I was like, I can't pay rent here. Like this place is crazy. And so CTS, or Jason Coop's kind of coaching org, was hiring for some new trail running coaches. And I was too scared to coach on my own. I didn't think that I knew enough. I felt like I was inexperienced. And to be fair, I wasn't an inexperienced endurance athlete, but I was an inexperienced trail and ultra runner, right? Like I'd only been trail racing for a little bit. And I was ultimately going to do my first ultras effectively that same year. And so I needed a coaching organization that could teach me how to be a better coach and to make me feel competent in my skills, and have people I could say, okay, this is what I'm planning. And they could say, okay, like, why are you doing it this way? Or, oh, that looks really good, but I would add this thing here. And so I wanted mentorship and I wanted guidance. And so I was too afraid to do it on my own. So I got hired by CTS, and they didn't need to teach me physiology because that was my academic background. But they did need to, AJW got hired at the same time. So it was like me and AJW and this guy named Adam St. Pierre. And so Adam and I came in as like the experienced nerds, and AJW knew nothing about science, but has been trail and ultra running for forever. Anyone who's been at Western States will recognize his voice because he's like famous for giving these speeches about the race, has run it over and over and over again. And so it's kind of this combo of like him teaching me about races that I knew nothing about, and me teaching him about physiological principles. So we were both learning, but for different reasons. And I've been coaching ever since. I'd only coached junior and youth athletes before that for track and field and for biathlon. And so it felt like a big jump to be coaching adults and be kind of scared of it too. Like I had been, horribly overtrained in biathlon, and I was so worried, like, aren't we going to hurt people? Like, isn't this going to hurt someone? And recognize like, oh, actually there was a big communication breakdown with me and my coaches on the national team. And if you have good communication and you are building really good relationships, you're going to catch red flags before they happen for the most part. People still get injured, and it always hurts when someone gets injured. I'm always like, oh, like, what did we miss? But then you realize injuries happen, and that is a natural part of training and racing, trail and ultra races. And you just figure out how you're going to move the athlete through that really hard time. I love it. I love it so much because it is this combination of science and like a puzzle, like a really fun human puzzle, where I like to say that we're not runners who human. We are humans who happen to be really into running and we're exercising. And so it's what I mean by that is that I have to put the human first. And so I'm not going to give you the ideal training for someone who has 40 hours available to train every week and, is single, doesn't have children, doesn't have a pet. Like, I'm not coaching bachelor monks. I am coaching people with busy lives.
Yeah.
My youngest athlete is 23. My oldest athlete is 75.
Oh, wow.
I coach a small group of professional athletes, but the most part, my athletes are just like very normal humans who have big goals.
Yeah.
And normal humans with big goals is way more complicated than coaching a professional.
Yeah.
Because there's nuance, right? Like your days look different, your energy is different, your stress levels are different.
Talk about it.
And so to me, it's really fun getting to figure that out and getting to work with an athlete. Like, again, I'm not a dictator.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not a mind reader.
Yeah.
Like, it is a partnership in which like we're a team.
Yeah.
I get to boss you around a little bit, but you're also a part of it. You're not a passenger. Like, you're an active part of this team.
Yeah.
And to me, those relationships become really, really special. And I've got athletes that I've coached for 7-8 years now.
Wow.
And I've got athletes that I've graduated and I said, okay, you need to go. You've moved beyond me. You need to go find something new. Because I think it's one of those things where it's like you get out of a relationship what you need.
Okay.
You evolve as a human, you evolve as an athlete, and someone else might be a better fit based on where you are in life, in the season that you're in.
Yeah.
And so I have no qualms in being like, I think you need something different. Like, I don't think it's me anymore. I think you need something that's a different flavor. And that is normal. And it shouldn't be like, there shouldn't be shame associated with like breaking up with a coach. It should be this like natural progression of any relationship.
Okay.
But you can be a lifer. I love a lifer too. I'll take a lifer.
That's very true. Being a community leader and like coach, and you're coaching somebody just to see what potential they have inside them, right? Like, they're like, I don't know if I can do this. So I start kind of at the beginner level, that I don't know if I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see their potential, you encourage them, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, you just did a 4-hour marathon, like, what they're following their training, right? And then like, well, what's next? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even run that fast. So like, but you encourage them and you're like, let me guide you to the next step. Like, this is a person that's going to help you get these goals to better, like, so I know that's so important to have a coach that sees both sides of that. Like, okay, we got there, but maybe it's time to like try different things.
Yeah. Or when I talk to a new athlete, I'll say, hey, like, if I'm not the right fit for you, I will move heaven and earth to find the right fit for you. Like, there are so many, there are good coaches and there are bad coaches for sure, but there are so many good coaches out there. And it's like, ooh, I might not be the right price point, the right style, the right energy. And someone else might have those things for this athlete. And I send athletes to other people all the time too. When they come into my inbox and they say, hey, I'd love for you to coach me. And I'll like get a sense of who they are. And I'll be like, you know what? Like, I don't think I'm the right person, but I want you to find the right person. And I would suggest talking to, this person or that person. And it's kind of cool though, because I get athletes from coaches that same way, who like, they'll take a consult and they'll be like, I'm a guy and you want a female coach, you should go over here, type of thing, and vice versa. So there is kind of this good back and forth with my friends that are coaches as well.
Yeah.
Do you still have big scary goals? Like, do you have a coach, and do you things that scare you still in trail running?
I do. Yeah. I think so. I would like to think I've got big scary goals. I get scared. I think it's one, being nervous is good because it means you care. And I think it's good to care. I did theater growing up, and I remember like one of my theater teachers told me that. She's like, no, nerves are good. Like, nerves just mean you care. You want to care. Okay. So I bring that into trail and ultra running too. Like, nerves are good because you care. So I have a coach. So I've been coached by a number of wonderful people. And most recently I'm coached by this guy named Cliff Pittman, who's awesome. I've had a number of coaches who have been too much like family or friends to me. And it's like, I need a run dictator. I need someone who can be my boss. And they say jump and I say how high. And I do a lot of like, yes, sir. And Cliff's been awesome for that, where he's very communicative, but also is like, he's my run boss, and it's great. I was at UTCT in November to run the 100-mile, and unfortunately went in with a bad head and chest cold, and ultimately got pulled by medical at mile 73, which was a huge bummer. But I'll have to go back, I guess. Like, Cape Town again. Like, oh no. But I'm working on planning out my current 2026 goals. And I am going to go to Chuckanut in the spring, which is scary because it's my like home race, local. It's scary for all those reasons. It'll have an amazing field. I've run it twice. and my PR is from the first time I ran it 10 years ago. And so I would love to go back and run faster. I would love to think that I'm faster 10 years later. But I had not, it was actually right before my 26th birthday. So I was 25 when I ran it. It'll be right before my 36th birthday this time around. My birthday's in early April, so I'll run it in March. And then I'm trying to figure out right now if I can get into Ultra Trail Snowdonia, which is a cool race in Wales. And it's like very slow and very rocky and kind of chundery. And that would be really cool to go and do a bigger international race in the spring. And then I'm right now playing with the Hard Rock qualifier game of trying to figure out which one and what's the timing and how does it all work. And so I will likely choose a fall qualifier because I work a lot of race weekends. And so actually finding ones that fit in my schedule are super hard because I work Western States and I work UTMB and I work Kodiak. And those are exhausting. Like, they're so much fun and I enjoy it and I get so much out of it, but I am a shell of a human after those race weeks. And so I have to kind of be strategic and find good times to race. And so I'll try to find a fall. I'll probably do like summer mountain adventures because we live in such a beautiful area in the Cascades here in Washington. And there's a bunch of big routes that'd be fun to do, which are scary because you just go out in the woods and you hope you come back 20 hours later. So big scary goals in that way. And then trying to figure out a fall Hard Rock qualifier because I did not finish UTCT. I still need a qualifier for the next year's lottery. And so, and all the races are so hard. They're which is for a reason, right? It's Hard Rock, so they're hard races. And that is always scary because they're big and mountainous and weird oftentimes. Like, they're just like intentionally hard. I feel like they're at altitude and I live at like 30 feet above sea level right now. And so those are always big and scary. And I think really any start line can be big and scary because ultra running and nothing is given. You know it's going to hurt. You know how bad it's going to hurt. You get good days and bad days. And it's the unknown is real. And the unknown is, I hate the unknown. The unknown is so scary. And it turns out it's 100 miles. And it's always a little bit scary. So never not scared maybe of hundreds. So from a professional athlete, running ultras is scary because you never know what you're going to get and you have to be ready for everything.
That's true. I have a big scary goal in 26 and that's to attempt my first 50 miler and it's going to be local in San Diego County. So I'm like mentally preparing for that and just like saying this is the year I run a lot in San Diego on the trails. And for me, it's always fun new trails. So I'm like, okay, all the places I haven't ran in San Diego trails, this is where I'm going to run as I train. But yeah, that's my big scary goal for time.
The first like distance jump of any kind is always kind of terrifying. You know, you go from 50K to 50 mile or even like going from like a road marathon to a trail 50K. Like that is a big jump because you're just out there for so long. And then 50 mile or 100K to 100 mile, like that's another, you're like, oh, I'm just going to double the amount of distance. Like that is, we like to call them stupid human tricks. Like it's kind of dumb that we can do that. And it's never not scary.
Well, for the average person, for my Navy mile, running my Navy mile and a half, when I first started running racing was scary to me.
I mean, my hardest race every year oftentimes is like a 6K cross country race because they hurt.
I know.
Like 5Ks hurt, half marathons hurt, marathons hurt. Honestly, I've never done a road marathon because that's way too scary for me. So it's just like I hate we have this thing in ultra running, right? Where we say like, oh, it's just a 50K. Oh, I'm just doing the 50 miles. It's like just nothing. Like that's a long freaking way to run. Or they'll say, I meant like my running level is like half marathon. I'm like, that's not a level. Like a half marathon's hard. A 10K is hard. And so we got to remove that from our vocabulary. Like
talk about it.
It's all special. It's all hard. It's all different every single time.
Yes, I totally agree. Finally, somebody say Yeah, I tell people not just a 50K, not just a Harem. I don't take that for granted. Not just a 5K. When I first got started racing, 5K was scary. We're gonna do a 5K was scary to me. Because you put yourself and you're going to have to go really fast, and you push yourself, really
5K is
fast.
still scary for me. It's just like you got to go hurt so bad. That it hurts in a different way. Those are really hard races. So it's not just anything.
Yeah.
They're worthwhile goals, and they're important goals.
Yeah. I know some people who run 5K all the time. I see their faces and they got this mean mug. Why do you run that 5K? It's just nasty.
They got like snot and slobber coming down their face.
Yeah.
And then in 100 miles, we're just like kind of crying by ourselves in the woods. Holding our pecan pie. It's very, very different.
I'm here sitting on a rock and like, oh man, why did I do this? What I got myself into?
I paid for this. I paid to do this thing, and I'm going to sit on this rock and cry for a while. Yeah, it's a normal trail running experience.
The things we do, why we do, why we keep coming, but what keep you coming back for more? What keep you going?
It's a good question, right? Because it's like, I feel like I retire from ultra running every time I run an ultra. I'm like, this is the last one. This is dumb. And I used to tell people are like, why do you run that far? And I'm like, well, be careful what you're good at. Like if I was good at 5Ks, I probably wouldn't be running 100-mile races. It's annoying that this is the thing that I'm better at. But I think, I don't know, and I found this in biathlon too, because it's really hard to have a perfect race in biathlon because you're shooting and you're skiing. You might ski really well, but miss all your targets, which is really, really bad when that happens. And vice versa. You might shoot really well, but have a slower day skiing. So finding that perfect race is really hard. And so I think that ultra and trail running does that because you have to have a good stomach and you have to have good legs, and the uphills feel good, but the downhills feel bad, or the downhills feel good and the uphills feel bad. And like, it exposes all your weaknesses.
Yes.
You don't know that you have imbalances until you're 40 miles deep, and you're like, my right quad doesn't work as well as my left quad. So it's like, it's all those little factors, I think. And then maybe we have got plenty of suffering in our lives, right? People have it. There's a lot of really bad stuff going on in the world, a lot of bad shit. And from genocides to ICE, just taking people off the streets, there's a lot of suffering.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do think in the Western world, we also crave when life is good, maybe like it's cathartic to go in the woods for 40 hours and just cover distance from A to B. You're not answering emails, you're not answering phone calls, you're not answering text messages. All you're doing is moving your body from point A to point B. And maybe you're chasing the suffer, or maybe it's cathartic, or maybe it's joyful. Maybe it's one of those things that does fill a void, or allow you to celebrate when life is hard, or allows you to go cry on a rock. I think we're chasing different things for different reasons. And sometimes it's very performance oriented, like you want to run this time and you want to do this place. But I think more than that, for most of us, it is joy. It is cathartic. It is a hurt that is like, you're not distracted and you're just kind of living in the moment. And I think that we spend a lot of time on little screens. My joke that my dog is always like, you're looking at your little square, and now you're looking at your bigger square, and now you're looking at your little square while you look at your big square. And it's nice to be separated from all of that. And I do think trail and ultra running forces us to basically take a sabbatical from our phone.
Absolutely.
And that is a very important thing in human existence right now.
Yeah, definitely. Because we're not meant to be so much time on our phone or all that stuff. We're meant to be out.
We're meant to be outside moving our bodies. And I think that's very important for our physical health, but it's very, very important for our mental health and well-being. And it is not therapy. Like it is not like it is. You should do both, I would say.
Okay.
But it is this thing that I think allows us to process our feelings. It allows us to. I do my best brainstorming. when I'm on a trail run, if you have missed an email, if I owe you an email, it's probably because I only remember about that email in the first mile of every run that I'm on. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I owe so-and-so an email. And then I immediately forget again when I'm done running. So I do my best thinking, my best brainstorming, my best conversing, like the conversations you have with your friends when you're on a 20-mile run.
Oh yeah.
That's not coffee shop talk. That's not beer talk. That's not dinner talk. That is running talk. And it is, I feel like it strips away all the formalities oftentimes. And you just actually have really amazing conversations.
Yeah.
For sure. I think that creates a lot of strong bonds. A lot of my strong friendships have been because of trail running and running, because you're suffering together or just out there for those hours for a long time.
Yeah, it's not even trauma bonding. We joke it's trauma bonding, but I would like to say that I think it's more meaningful than that. And I do think it is this really wonderful, like, human experience of shared experience. Because I mean, we've all felt that. Like you go somewhere by yourself. And it's special. But when you go somewhere with people, when you're on trail with people, when you're covering this distance with people, like, it is so much more meaningful to have that shared experience.
Yep, I agree. Definitely. So talking about community and stuff, I want to talk about your community and your inclusive work. Like you mentioned a little bit with the Western states, how that could change to make it more inclusive. And I know that you do a lot of work. Actually, you were my first panel moderator that I've ever been on when I was at Broken Arrow on the Inclusive Initiative panel, people that worked on different programs at Broken Arrow. So you interviewed me. So that was really exciting. I was like, oh, it's Corrinne. So that was awesome. So I think you find storytelling, especially from underrepresented communities, to be really important. And you also have a fund that provides grants for people to do storytelling. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, what I found is that whenever there's been a big moment of kind of like pause and reflection, those moments have caused us to think about, what could I be doing to help in this instance? And for me, what I realized is that I've got a really big Rolodex. Like I can, and it's not like a physical like card flipping Rolodex. It is my ability to say, oh, you need to be talking to this person. Or, oh, an opportunity comes up and I'm like, oh, this should be like, these people should know about it. I feel like that is kind of like my platform in a way. Like what can I give? I have limited resources personally, but if I'm working with organizations that have resources, I can be a person that is let in more easily, and then we can hold the door open for everyone else to come in as well. Because my belief, particularly in the women's space, is that for the longest time, and there's historical context here in which like white women have done horrible shit when it comes to women's initiatives, because we've won in air quotes a lot of those at the expense of women from other backgrounds, BIPOC women, etc. So there's historical context to this in which white women have not done a very good job of being inclusive in that way. We've fought for women's rights, and that has historically been coded as white women's rights. And so my thought process is that we've all been fighting over the same piece of pie. And all of our overlords are these like white male humans who don't have a shared lived experience and have not been on the kind of short end of the stick very often. Women globally have been on the short end of the stick in various ways. And we are forced to fight for the same piece of pie, which oftentimes means if white women win, Black and brown women lose. If Black women win, brown women lose, or Indigenous women lose, or vice versa. Like someone is always losing. And I use air quotes on losing because I don't think we should be having to fight over a piece of pie. We are a huge body of humans. Like women, we're 50+% of the global population. Nothing gets done without us. We have the buying capital. We have the influence, even when it's not thought of as traditional influence. So my goal is that we should just make the pie bigger. Now, we shouldn't be spending time fighting over a piece of pie. We should make the pie bigger, and no one is losing. It's like we can win together, and that our joint efforts actually advance us so much more. You burn one bridge, you burn them all. You build a bridge all together, everyone can kind of work for like the same shared common goal. And in this case, it's bringing more women globally into trail and ultra running. What that's looked like is that I was part of the group that accidentally launched the Women's Trail Running Fund or the Here for the Women's Race shirts. And it's been a learning curve, and we're still, I feel like, just getting by because it is a volunteer thing on top of all the other things that we do. But effectively, what we realize is that we're very good at fundraising, and we can use these t-shirts to fundraise and then give that money to individuals or organizations who are doing this work. The first year of grants that we gave out this past year, we gave out $25,000 of grants, which is a lot of money. And those stories are currently being worked on. It includes a major film project in the Philippines that follows a number of young athletes that were at the World Mountain and Trail Running Championships right now. It features a mother in Squamish. There's another film that features a mother in Squamish who overcame a really serious life of addiction and found community and kind of stability in the trail ultra running community. There's a story about women of a certain age, so all older women in the trail running space. And then there's zines being made, there's written pieces being done. So we gave out 5 $1,000 grants, 2 $5,000 grants, and 1 $10,000 grant to these written photo and film projects that are all currently in the works. And then this year we haven't set up a new grant project for 2026, but the idea is that there are so many organizations that are doing truly incredible work for their personal communities.
Yeah.
And my job is not to reinvent the wheel. My job is not to tell Latina runners what they need. My job is not to tell Black runners what they need. My job is not to tell Asia Pacific runners what they need or Indigenous runners what they need. My job is to say, this person, this organization is doing a really amazing job in their community, uplifting whatever that community might be. How can we facilitate what they're doing?
Awesome.
And so the goal is to iterate on the shirt and to iterate on the funding project in which we partner directly with the organizations that are doing that work and give them funds to facilitate the work they're doing. And so we haven't released anything for 2026 yet, but we're working on partner projects, one of which came out during UTMB week, where we launched a shirt alongside the Black Trail Running Organization in the UK. And all the proceeds from that shirt specifically will go back to women's running initiatives within the Black Trail Runners Organization, because the Black Trail Runners Organization works with both men and women to get to trail races, and they're going to flag it to make sure that we are using some of that funding to really focus on women getting to those trail taster events, to help with race entries, to help with product placement and those kind of needs. And so we're looking to do more of those projects in which we are raising money from specific shirts that directly go to organizations, and then looking at a bigger pot in which we can distribute funds to other clubs and organizations that are doing really important work. And this year we'll also be hopefully working with some individual brand sponsors to work on specific grant programming as well. And so we've got our fingers in everything. But the goal is we're really good at fundraising, and we don't want to be fighting over the same piece of pie. We want to make the pie bigger. And it's not my job to tell anyone what they need. My job is to facilitate and listen to what they need and use our resources to make that stuff happen.
That's awesome. I love to hear that you're uplifting other women and other programs. Like you said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Let's go to the community and see what they
You guys are already doing it.
We're already doing it.
You're already doing the work. I don't need to create a program for you. I need to help you have more funds to do the work you're already doing, because that's like the best way we can build off those communities. I don't know, like I feel like Tim Tollefson or someone was like, we should build with community, not on top of community. And I think that's easier said than done. But I do think the way we are now thinking about our funding stream really could do that, really could build with these communities and not just, like plop, put things on top of things.
But I mean, I have to give it up to you because your voice is so important, especially I hope they listen to this podcast because you explained it so well, right? Like this is not us against each other. We're trying to work together. But I've seen you out there. I saw you at the We Out Here Trail Festival supporting and volunteering, supporting all the trail runners there. I see you giving a voice to runners like myself or like community members, doing the work. So thank you. And just want to say, I see you doing the work, and your voice is super important because you amplify our voices. Everybody knows Corrinne, but you're helping us. to also be heard.
We're trying. It's one of those things where it's like,
and,
it's not.
And it's a learning experience for everyone.
Oh my
right?
goodness.
You don't know when to. I feel like you're diving in now. Like you're trying to get to know us, and like I love to see that. Though a lot of people don't
sometimes.
do that. It is messy, but you're doing it, and it's messy work, But we have to listen to each other. We can't just like point fingers and we have to talk to each other. And our goal is pretty much the same goal. It's like let's work together. Yeah,
it's the like we're all working to bring more women to trail running. Yes. We can work together on this, and I think it was very like there was a lot of movement post George Floyd and post like kind of like the growth of the Black Lives Matter movement, and it feels like that has been slipping, and entities and organizations and corporations in particular have been investing less and less, and it's like we have to make real change in the industry, not just that has meaning, that has value, that has like place. I was talking to friends this morning about TRE, right? Like TRE happened in San Antonio, and I think there's very little talk about environmental action in an event that's creating a lot of carbon, with people traveling, that's creating a lot of product and potential waste. It's in a place where, Black and brown people are being targeted right now by ICE, and there wasn't talk about immigration or what do you do as a race organizer or a store, a store owner, if ICE came into your shop or your space or your group run or your race. And these are very real issues in the trail space. And it felt like, well, TRE is not necessarily designed for that. If you're putting together effort to talk about some of these issues, there are issues that are being missed. And those issues are quote unquote, again, like harder issues or more sensitive issues, but they're part of our community inherently. And so it's important to give space for them and not pretend that stuff isn't happening in the background. I know it's just running, but it's part of our lives. And so you can't just pretend, I think, that everything is totally fine.
For sure. Yeah.
Wow, no, I just
that's my soapbox. That's my soapbox.
No, that's so good, man. Just I just know I know we're going a little bit over time, but it's all good, but just I'm sitting back and seeing what y'all doing, for Priscilla with Santa Majeras, in the community with the women's, and Corrinne, and what you're doing, and just I'm grateful just to be a part of this. I'm thinking, who would have known that running thing could have had that much impact, it's something like that, so I'd be grateful to just able to have this conversation and have this platform to talk about that.
Yeah, running allows us to experience joy, I think, even when there's dissonance of things happening in the background. And so it's still holding on to that, right? Like you each get to experience so much joy in running and freedom in running when other things feel, scarier, harder, less, I don't know, less than.
Yeah, I sometimes tell some of our runners that our joy in running, it's our form of resistance. They want to take that away from us. They don't want to make us feel safe on the streets, but we know we're out there together. So that's our form of resistance and keeping our joy, doing something we absolutely love. So it's more than running.
It's more than running. It's easy to say it's just running, but it is definitely like more than food. Like food is so many things, right? It's more than running.
More than running. So much more. Yeah, so with that said, I don't want to ask one more question. I'll be it,
Yeah.
What have been your greatest joy or moment in running and in broadcasting?
Oof. I think in broadcasting, it's easy. It's the 2021 Western States. It was our first year, and the men sucked, and the women did so good. And that was an easy joy.
Do you like soccer?
Yeah, I was just like, this is amazing. Like, the women are so good. That was very fun to get to witness them absolutely throw down and the men's field absolutely fall apart. And it was very exciting and very interesting.
Okay.
In my own personal running, I still think a highlight of my career and a highlight life experience was during the pandemic. I ran the Tahoe Rim Trail.
Yes.
But as a supported FKT attempt, and I got to have so many friends come out and help me. And it was, well, some things went wrong. Like I had some puking early and my crew was not at an aid station on time when I got there. We ran 171 miles faster than any woman has on the Tahoe Rim Trail. And it all went really smooth. Like it was one of those, I wouldn't say days, plural, because it was, what did it take? 44 hours, I want to say. So we were the first women to go under 48 hours. And it all went really well. Like it just, there was never a doubt in my mind that we weren't going to get it done. And it was one of those experiences where we had horrible wildfires and the national forests were actually closed. And then they were sort of open, but they had some limited rules. And so we had to legitimately call the sheriff's department and the Tahoe Lake Basin Management Unit to say, hey, are we within the rules? Can we be out here? And they said yes. And we waited for 6 weeks to get a green light to go with the weather. And it was the longest taper of my life. And we did it. And it went. And I took down Chrissy Mole's FKT by over 2.5 hours. I have yet to have another running experience that was quite that simplistically beautiful. Like I knew exactly what I was doing and it just all went very, very well.
Wow. And just say they come together and you had that one shining moment.
Yeah, truly. Like it was perfect. Like it was really, really special.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love it. Yes. So Priscilla, I'll let you take over. Okay.
I guess we'll close it out. Corrinne, we just want to say thank you for sharing your journey, for making trail running more inclusive. It's been inspiring to hear your story. I love seeing you out there at the races, either you're broadcasting or just supporting other runners. It's been awesome. So yeah, I just want to say thank you. I don't know, Kenneth, do you want to, any other words?
Oh yeah, sorry, Corrinne. Keep not your name wrong.
No, it's great. We're on the money.
Yeah, Corrinne, it was grateful. I know I've been trying to reach out to you, trying to get you interview you back to 2021, I think, when I first reached out to you on Instagram, and so
we made it happen.
Yeah. So it's right time, the right moment, So definitely, and we are here, and so thank you for your time, thank you for sharing, and I really enjoy this time with Priscilla as well. And, and how you did able to come full circle. I got a picture with you. She got a picture with you. And so how awesome is that?
Yeah.
And they
we'll get to hang out in June, maybe.
Yeah, I'll be out there in June.
Yeah.
Nice. Hopefully I can make out there. Definitely I'll just volunteer, running around or something like that. And then losing my voice. And here we go. So thank you, for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
And, you want to end it? I got it, Priscilla. You want to end it? Okay.
I'm sorry?
I will talk to Priscilla. How did you want to end it? Yeah. That's so. But yeah, thank you, Priscilla, for joining me as your co-host, being my co-host once again. Thanks for Corrinne for joining the Live, Run, Balance family for another episode of the Live, Run, Balance show. Living a life beyond the boundaries you set yourself. And Corrinne, thank you for being balanced and all the things she has done during her career, from the logging, from the being a scientist and being a skier, and the list go on, and being just so I can't remember everything. But yeah, thank you. Until next time, family. See you soon.